Hello, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another it's the Teenage Movie Critic. I need to keep getting that right. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another MCU video. And not only are we entering the 2023 era with new MCU content, we're also entering a new phase of the MCU, which is Phase 5. Phase 4 ended with Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, so now we're starting off with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania next month. So here's my ranking of all the projects in Phase 5. I will say this, there are some projects in here that aren't really announced that they're Phase 5 yet, but Phase 5 is between the years of 2023 and 2024, so I included projects like Spider-Man Freshman Year or Marvel Zombies in this list because they have a 2024 release. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I kind of already talked about the Marvels in my last video, but like I said, I liked the original Captain Marvel, and I am excited for this film. The only thing is we just don't know too much about it. Like, we know that Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Photon are teaming up, and that it's going to take place on this musical planet. But what else do we actually know about it? So, it comes in last place for me. Now, I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Loki Season 1. I liked it, but I was very disappointed with it because the show just felt so complicated, just like the character. But with this season, what they're doing, it sounds honestly like very exciting of what they're doing with bringing in Hoi Kwan, who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. You're also just doing all these other time travel elements, exploring new timelines. I mean, it's just something that I feel like is going to be a lot better than Season 1 was. Now, I really liked the Agatha character in WandaVision, and so I'm excited to see her back in this show, but having her as a main character in her own TV show just does not excite me. I mean, how could that ever excite me? Like, seeing her lead her own show, just never really thought about that. And then, but then you hear all about all the castings and the characters that might come back in this show, and it actually sounds pretty exciting, so that's kind of why it's a little bit higher on the list. Now, I like the Echo character in the Hawkeye show, and I'm excited to see more of her in this show. I'm hoping that they explore the story of her being on the run from Kingpin and his men, and it basically is kind of like this has this very intense vibe to it, where when it comes to the action, she has to hide up behind walls and find her way around to shooting people and stuff and all that. So it's kind of cool in the way that happens. However, they announced that this show is going to be like a supernatural show, which at first I was thinking like, is this going to be a lot like Moon Knight, where it's going to be exploring like Egyptian stuff? So it's going to be like exploring stuff of her culture? But no, it's actually stuff like basically exploring, her becoming like a warrior and stuff. So I guess that's kind of cool, but not sure if I wanted that for an actual show for a character like this. But I haven't read the comics for her, so I don't know. Now, when they first announced this movie, I was so excited because it's like our own Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, except it's characters we actually know and like, and it's kind of like its own mini team-up Avengers film that's not an Avengers movie. And honestly, that's a smart way to do it, something that's not an Avengers type level film. At the same time, I do have issues with this, though. When it comes to the overall story, I mean, from what the lineup looks like, I mean, you got 3 super soldiers, a Russian spy, you got 3 super soldiers, 2 Black Widows, and a Ghost. And they're going to be taking on a Sentry character, who is a sort of super soldier Superman. who is like much more powerful than Captain America and Superman combined. So it's like, how are 3 super soldiers, 2 Black Widows, and 1 Ghost gonna handle all this together? Now, and then they also are like making a story saying that this movie is also focusing on like a Wakanda and U.S. war, and I'm like that does sound interesting, because that's kind of what the Suicide Squad was all about, and that they were trespassing on this land and all that good stuff. But like, and some of these heroes actually found it willingly to actually go out and save the world and become superheroes. And I think that's what most of these heroes might do in this movie. They might not be on the same path that Valentino wants them to be on. So that's kind of how I think of it. At the same time, you know, I personally think there are some things that I do kind of like it. I'm excited to see some characters in this show, in this movie. It probably would have worked if it was a series, but I kind of imagine it more as a movie now. But I personally just cannot wait to see Thunderbolts. But at the same time, just certain plot lines are not sticking for me as much. Now, ever since they announced that they're making a 4th Captain America film starring Sam Wilson's Captain America on the day that the last episode of Falcon Winter Soldier premiered, I was extremely excited, because I mean, first off, seeing a film starring Sam Wilson's Captain America as the main lead just sounds awesome. Like, I want to see how he becomes Captain America, what his Captain America means to the world. And then also, like, I also loved the Captain America trilogy as a whole. So, like, seeing that progressed in this film really excites me. Also, the fact that it's going to be a paranoid thriller, all that excites me. And so it's like, it's great to get to see another Captain America film that focuses on these political topics. And then they started announcing all these different types of villains, with Red Skull coming back, which I believe that Red Skull should just be the villain in this movie. That he escaped from Vormir after being trapped there since 1945, and now he's free to roam the universe and do whatever. But now he's hearing there's a new Captain America, so he's going to take that Captain America down before he becomes anything special. Or you could either get Cabal, you could get the Serpent Society, you could get all these different types of villains, but they decided to go with the main villain as the leader. And then they're bringing back Hulk, She-Hulk, and Scar into this movie. And I mean, yeah, they're bringing in Sabra and Joaquin Torres characters, but this movie just feels like a Hulk villain, a Hulk movie, rather than a Captain America film, because you're adding in all these Hulk characters, and it's like, why couldn't you just have Red Skull be the main villain? It would have been at least cool. But I don't know. That's my thoughts on New World Order. I'm hoping that it's good. At least it does something great. And hopefully it proves me wrong, because I really want to be proved wrong by this. Alright, so after seeing her in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I really liked the character of Ironheart. I thought she was such a unique character that had a great amount of humor, but also had a great story to tell and something you cared about within the story of the movie. And so, and honestly, like, I didn't feel like she was copying Iron Man. She didn't feel like she was replacing Iron Man, but she felt like a unique character of her own. And so, now that I've seen the film and that we're getting her on a TV show, I can be like, yeah, I'm excited to see this character now. And overall, I'm just excited to see it. I think another part about this show is I'm excited for is just getting more of that Iron Man tech stuff you like in the Iron Man franchise. And then also the concept of technology versus magic. That's kind of something that I've never really thought about, and I kind of want to see how that's going to be portrayed. And also, you know, you got Anthony Ramos in here, who is going to probably nail it as Hood. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited for Ironheart. I'm all there for it. Now, this is probably one of the most difficult production films of the entire MCU, as it lost its director because the script just had like 2 lackluster action sequences. It was so short, and it was just, the production of this film just did not do so well. And then they casted a new director, which, if I'm being honest, I feel like the director of this film should have been the guy that directed Day Shift, because if you don't know what that movie is, it's a film that stars Jamie Foxx, and he's basically a vampire hunter, and that would fit. And for whatever he did in that film with the action and killing vampires, it would fit perfectly into what goes on in the world of Blade. And I mean, I never watched the original Wesley Snipes Blade. I need to watch it before I go see the new one, as it is a reboot of the character. So all I know is that one of the unique things about the Blade character is that he's known for having these great action sequences, very gory and bloody. And I actually want to see that. And I'm honestly excited to see a vampire killing movie and vampires introduced in the MCU. And I'm excited to see this character, but I honestly just don't know too much about the character to really put it up higher. All I know is that it's going to be a pretty exciting action movie, and I cannot wait to see it. So when they first announced Spider-Man Freshman Year, I was excited as anyone, because they announced this show as an origin story of the MCU Spider-Man and following the character of its comic book roots. And from that concept, I was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds like something very unique in the MCU that feels like, oh yeah, we're going full on we're going on full on great MCU Spider-Man, peak MCU Spider-Man, plus it's animated. I mean, we've gotten so many good animated shows for Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man the animated series. Forget about the Disney XD shows, but like, this is probably going to be the best Disney Plus Spider-Man show we've ever gotten. And then they started announcing all the villains of the show with Doc Ock, Rhino, and then they announced that they're bringing in Harry and Norman Osborn in it, plus they're black, which has nothing to do with that anyways. But the fact that you're bringing in all these characters, it just makes you wonder, wait, didn't we see all these characters? Like, didn't you meet all these, a version of them for the first time in No Way Home? So, like, it ruins the whole timeline. And then they announced that this show it takes place in another universe. And I mean, I like the concept that they created, that with Doctor Strange's spell, it created a sort of new history for MCU Spider-Man, that instead of Tony Stark being the mentor, it's now Norman Osborn, which is an interesting concept to come up with. But for me, I don't think that would be the concept to really explore that. I actually would like to see the villains Peter Parker faced before he actually started, like, becoming this superhero, wanting to join the Avengers and whatnot, instead of just having all these different characters. Now, granted, I'm so excited for when this show comes out. I mean, I'm excited as anyone. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I was literally watching videos of Stan Lee talking about how he managed to create the idea of Spider-Man. And every time he talks about it, it's so inventive and so great. And I love Spider-Man. I even watched Spectacular Spider-Man. I watched all the movies. I love everything Spider-Man. I even have an idea for a Spider-Man film that I can't really talk about yet. It has to do with one of my 6 MCU movies part thing. But as a Spider-Man fan, I'm so pumped for this. I'm all here for it. The fact that it's not in the MCU just heartens me, but at the same time, it's bringing back Doctor Strange and Daredevil and all those other characters, so that's at least exciting. That's at least cool, because they did have some nice history together. But overall, while there are some things that to bring it down, I am so excited for Spider-Man Freshman Year, and I cannot wait to see it in Disney Plus in 2024. Alright, now Deadpool, I think the first 2 Deadpool films are really good films. The first film, I think, was just a great was just a really good, I can't say great because it just wasn't top tier for me. It wasn't like top tier comic book action movie. But that first movie was so cleverly well done. It had great humor, great clever action, and just introduced us to a character that we all fell in love with, that also broke the fourth wall, which we all loved. Then you get to the second movie, and I feel like that movie just does a little bit too much. It has too much going on, but it's very entertaining, and the action sequences are great. And then you get into the third movie, and it's probably the most bonkers film of the entire X-Men universe, but also the most bonkers MCU film, where you're taking a character that does not exist in the MCU, teaming up and bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and going on this crazy adventure and going to different universes. And I mean, this is going to be a crazy ride. You're going to see so much action. You're going to see so much gore. The fact that it's actually going to be rated R just excites me. And the fact that they were able to add Disney Plus Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and Logan on Disney Plus, that excites me a whole lot. So I cannot wait to see what Deadpool 3 has to offer. And for all the information that we've gotten for this film, I'm so excited, and I just cannot wait to see what's in store for us. Now, like I said before my 2023 video, I think that Secret Invasion was kind of a weird idea at first, because, you know, the Skrulls were established as good guys in the first Captain Marvel movie. But then you start to think about, like, it's the MCU, they don't really follow the comics, so they're probably still gonna do the story, just add some bad Skrulls into it, whatever that means. And the fact that they're doing all these cameos with different characters pretending to be Skrulls, and, you know, still having this big Skrull invasion, and also seeing Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury again, since Spider-Man Far From Home, I believe, that's gonna be great. So I'm honestly just so excited for Secret Invasion. I liked the trailers that we've gotten. It has this very Winter Soldier type vibe, so I cannot wait to see Secret Invasion and what it has to offer. Now, after seeing that episode of What If on Marvel Zombies, I was really impressed by the way they did that, in that they were able to do something different. They were able to actually to do something interesting with the events of the MCU, and do something in a different sense without doing a what if of it. And continuing this story with these characters and having these new survivors, I just think that's really interesting. Like, seeing this armored up Shang-Chi with Katie and Yelena and Kate Bishop and all these different characters interacting together. Like, my favorite thing about that zombie episode in What If was you got to see all these different characters interact, from Spider-Man interacting with Wasp, Bruce Banner interacting with Kurt, Sharon Carter with Happy Hogan, Winter Soldier with Okoye. I mean, all these different characters interacting together, and you're going to get more of that in this little short series of episodes. And, of course, you know, you get to see all these different Marvel characters being zombies and just get the great stuff of it. So I cannot wait to see what this show has to offer. And also the fact that it's going to be first off, it's going to have 4 episodes, which is probably going to be the shortest length for Marvel episodes in any MCU series. The shortest length of episodes that they've done is probably Iron Man with 5 episodes. And then coming off of that, with all the other mostly all the other shows have been 6 episodes, and then WandaVision, What If, and She-Hulk have been 9 episodes. So I don't know if this works. Who knows? And then also, it's the first TVMA thing in the MCU, and the fact that, like, they added Deadpool, Logan, and Deadpool 2 on Disney Plus. That's a sign, like, they're breaking the code. They're going wild, and I cannot wait for this show to be gory and bloody, and I just cannot wait for it. Now, the first 2 Ant-Man films I thought were really good films. the first film I thought was just a nice little film that had the right amount of humor, right amount of action, but also told a story that was different enough from the rest of the MCU. Then you get into Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it told a story that I thought worked, that was nice compared to the first film, that continued the characters, that had some cool action, had funny humor, and all that good stuff. And also the best thing about these two films is they were nice little breaks from the big stuff happening, with Ant-Man being a break from Age of Ultron and Ant-Man and the Wasp being a break from Infinity War. And then you get into Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and it's not sure, it's kind of a break from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but it's actually another big film, because it's starting Phase 5, it's showing us more of the quantum realm, it's introducing us to Kang the Conqueror, and it's giving us all that glory that we want. We're also getting Bill Murray, we're also getting more of these characters, we're getting the tease of the young Avengers. There's so much stuff that they're establishing here. I cannot wait to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Now, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, I absolutely loved. I thought that they had these great characters who, they had like this, like, who the hell is a talking tree and a talking raccoon? And they make them some of the most household names ever. And they were able to have such a great soundtrack and great humor and great characters and overall just a great movie. And then you get into the second film, which wasn't as good, but it's still very enjoyable and great soundtrack and great character moments, and really kept the heart of the first film while at the same time having some issues here and there. And then, all the interactions that the Guardians have had with the Avengers and whatnot have been great. And even the stuff they did in the holiday special was like, it reminded you why you love these characters so much. And then you get into Guardians 3, and it's like, it's the conclusion of it. Of course, you're getting the humor you want, the action you want, the emotions of it, but you're also getting that heart in it that you love. Is that, and you're spending, as you spent with these characters for almost 10 years, and this is probably going to be the last time you were seeing them. If you don't remember, Dave Bautista said this was his last time playing the Drax character on screen for the last time. And I'm like, damn, bro. We're not going to see Drax after this. So that's kind of crazy. So, and then of course you also get the Peacemaker. You're also getting Adam Warlock in here. We're getting the actor from Peacemaker to play the villain in here. So there's just a lot of exciting stuff that I'm so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, to be clear, I have never watched the Daredevil series from Netflix or any of the Marvel Netflix series ever whatsoever. But the only thing that I've ever heard from the Daredevil show was that it is an incredible television show from Netflix. I mean, it's known for doing something for Marvel that is so different, so unique, and also it's pretty brutal and gory and violent, and that's kind of something I would love that if they brought that to the MCU, and it's so great that they're bringing that. And the fact that we've gotten Daredevil in Spider-Man No Way Home as his lawyer, and we got Kingpin in the finale of Hawkeye, and then we got Daredevil back in She-Hulk in the red and yellow suit, or as he calls it, the ketchup and mustard suit. But the fact that we're getting a Daredevil show in the MCU called Daredevil Born Again, that just sounds like a refurbished, like I'm coming back for Disney, and that sounds awesome. I like how they're saying that he's gonna plan, he's training for this show in a big way, but they're not gonna make it as brutal as they used to do it. So it's kind of weird, but I am so excited for this show. I cannot wait to see the whole cast back, probably. I haven't seen the show. That's kind of why it's not number one, but it's a show that, from those action scenes, bro, I would say Daredevil has some of the best fight scenes in any MCU stuff ever, or any Marvel content ever. It is just so good, bro. I love that, so I cannot wait to see Daredevil Born Again. the first season of What If I thought was just a overall good season of What If. I just thought that it took the script of the MCU and turned it on its shoulders and did all these unique storylines with it. Obviously, not every story was for everyone, so not every story is going to work, but it told some stories that I actually thought did something different, but not only brought us back to the worlds of the MCU that we know and love, but did some different types of stories with it and introduced some different types of tones that we've never seen, and I loved that. And I thought that was really a really great way to do something with the multiverse concept. But at the same time, and then I also liked the animation stuff of it. At the same time, I wish it could have connected more to the MCU and really like connected all the other multiverse projects like No Way Home and Loki and Multiverse of Madness and all those shows together. But I just feel like they have their own separate rules. What If Season 2, however, I'm just so excited for. I mean, all the ideas that they have planned for the Hela and Wenwu episode, the Captain Carter versus Steve Rogers Winter Soldier episode, the Surtur versus Marvel Universe episode, the Red Guardian episode where he joins the Avengers instead of Captain America. I mean, all of that stuff just sounds great, and I cannot wait. Hopefully that this season actually does better and connects the rest of the MCU together and makes the rules more capable, because I have faith in Phase 5 and Phase 6 that will actually make the stories more accountable. So that's pretty much my ranking of all the Phase 5 projects. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.